It all started with just 3 weeks. 3 ridiculously long, painfully confusing, soul-shaking weeks that felt like a lifetime for Harry. And honestly, you're going to feel his heartbeat when you hear this because nothing about what happened is soft or easy. The whole mess begins with a man who only wanted love, loyalty, sincerity, yet somehow ended up uncovering a version of his wife's past that was never meant to reach his eyes. Not now, not ever. And all of it, every single shock, started with something so small, so tiny, so stupidly ordinary that it almost makes the whole thing feel unreal. But trust me, it was real. Harry didn't even understand why that Croatia yacht photo got stuck in his head like gum on a shoe. It had been 3 whole weeks since the pictures exploded online. 3 weeks of people talking, whispering, analyzing those angles and shadows. But Harry kept coming back to the same image like something inside him refused to rest. He kept zooming in, zooming out, leaving the room, coming back, staring at it again like some haunted man searching for a ghost only he could see. And then it happened. His eyes caught something he had somehow missed a million times before. On the yacht's deck, tucked away like it wasn't even important, was this little navy blue canvas bag. Simple, quiet, innocent. But the gold lettering on it made Harry's entire stomach drop into his shoes. Soho House. In that moment, something inside him snapped awake. This wasn't just some fancy yacht. This was a Soho House member yacht. From the same elite, insanely exclusive club Meghan practically breathed in for years. The same club dripping with power whispers, private dinners, backroom deals, and elite connections. The place where absolutely nothing ever happened by coincidence. Harry felt his chest tightening, his heartbeat thudding like he was running even though he hadn't moved an inch. He knew something wasn't right, so he did what any person drowning in silent panic would do. He opened a new tab, fingers shaking like leaves, and typed 3 names he had never thought to connect before. Soho House, Marcus Anderson, Meghan Markle. The moment the results loaded, he froze. His blood went cold. Harry had always believed Marcus Anderson was just Meghan's quirky Toronto friend, the stylish social guy who loved a good drink, a good laugh, and a glamorous crowd. But the Marcus he found online, that was not the man he thought he knew. Not even close. The old society blogs, the half-deleted interviews, the archived magazines hidden behind broken links. He had to dig like a detective, but they all pointed to the same jaw-dropping truth. Marcus wasn't just mingling in the elite social scene. He controlled it. He wasn't attending parties. He was creating lines on a chessboard. Harry sat there stunned as he read that Marcus wasn't just a consultant. He was an access broker, a man who connected ambitious, attractive women with wealthy, powerful men, someone who helped actresses get in front of producers, models in front of investors, newcomers in front of the elite. Someone described him as the man who makes sure the right people meet at the right time. Harry felt foolish, stupid, betrayed by his own blind trust. All those times Marcus was around, all those whispers, all those perfectly timed appearances, he thought it was harmless. But now, everything felt staged. And the worst part? A horrifying, creeping thought slipped into his mind. What if Marcus wasn't just Meghan's friend? What if he was her handler? That's when he clicked on an old Toronto photo album. And for the next 6 hours, 6 painful, silent, lonely hours, his entire world began collapsing piece by piece. Harry didn't want to believe it. He kept trying to tell himself he was misunderstanding everything. That photos, timelines, overlaps could all be coincidences. Strange, weird coincidences, sure, but still coincidences. But that tiny bit of hope shattered the moment he made a phone call he had avoided for years. Late at night, while Meghan slept peacefully in the other room, Harry dialed a former Soho House member from his London party days. Someone who knew that world like the back of his hand, someone who didn't sugarcoat anything. When the man finally answered, Harry's voice was barely a whisper. "I need to ask you about Marcus Anderson." The silence that followed was long, too long, and when the man finally sighed, Harry's skin went cold. For 40 minutes, 40 torturous minutes, Harry listened to a truth he was never supposed to know. Marcus didn't run a social circle. He ran what insiders secretly called a finishing school. Not for etiquette, not for charm, but for access. He handpicked ambitious women hungry for status, connections, influence. He taught them how to dress, how to speak, how to carry themselves so they could blend into elite rooms without looking like outsiders. He funneled them into Soho House, gave them connections, placed them in front of powerful men, positioned them like chess pieces. Harry just sat there, gripping the phone, staring at nothing. Marcus wasn't just connected. He had access to internal calendars, private event lists, guest rosters. He knew exactly who would be where and when, and he used that like it was his personal matchmaking blueprint. And Meghan? She had been a student of that school long before Harry even became a character in her life story. That alone was devastating enough. But what came after hit him even harder. Harry suddenly realized something that made his stomach twist. How did Meghan even afford all of this? The flights across Europe, the designer outfits, the constant Soho House trips, the yacht weeks, the luxury hotels, none of it made sense. Not with her income, not with her suit's salary. It didn't add up. So he contacted someone still tied to Soho House Toronto, and the truth he learned there nearly made him drop the phone. Meghan's membership, it wasn't discounted, it wasn't half-sponsored, it was 100% comped for 5 entire years. Someone had paid every penny for her. When he asked who sponsored her, the contact hesitated, paused, and then finally said in this shaky voice that Marcus had ways of granting certain women full access through corporate accounts, anonymous approvals, invisible patrons. Someone had been investing in Meghan, heavily. Someone had been grooming her rise. Someone had been funding her transformation from a cable show actress into a polished, globe-trotting socialite who could walk into elite rooms without skipping a beat. Harry sat down, grabbed a pen, and started calculating. Flights, clothes, styling, hotels, yacht weeks, private events. By the time he added it all up, the number hit him like a punch to the chest. $70,000 a year. And Meghan couldn't have covered even half of that. The pit in his stomach grew deeper, but nothing prepared him for what he did next. One morning, he went into his office, opened a drawer he hadn't touched in years, and pulled out the official wedding guest list. 600 names organized neatly into categories. His side, Meghan's side. He had never questioned her list before, but now, as he scanned through it, his stomach twisted. Marcus Anderson, front row, Jessica Mulroney, Soho House queen, Misha Nonu, the woman who arranged the blind date, also Soho House, Serena Williams, member, executives, regulars, people photographed with Meghan years before he even entered her orbit. Harry grabbed a highlighter, then another. Out of 200 guests on Meghan's side, over 60 were directly connected to Soho House. This wasn't a normal wedding list. This wasn't a personal circle. This was a network, a carefully curated network that built her climb. And then he saw a photo from the reception. Marcus and 4 Soho House executives holding champagne, smiling like they had completed a mission. Harry felt sick. His wedding wasn't a celebration. It was a summit, and it broke him. Days passed, and he couldn't sleep, couldn't eat, couldn't breathe normally. His mind spiraled through photos, timelines, articles, event lists, interviews, whispers, and then he remembered something he had buried for years. William's voicemails. His hands shook as he scrolled through old recordings, and when he found the voicemail from November 2017, he felt his whole body tense. He pressed play. William's voice came through, calm, serious, almost pleading. "Harry, you need to listen to me. Palace security ran a background check. Meghan has been part of the Soho House crowd for years. Marcus Anderson's reputation is well known. He positions women. She has been photographed with men from your world since 2014. This isn't random. Please look into this before you propose." Harry replayed it, then replayed it again. His brother wasn't jealous. He wasn't interfering. He was warning him. He found 2 more voicemails. Warnings about Meghan appearing around Harry's charity donors. Warnings about Marcus being deeply tied to his world. Harry had ignored them all, blinded by love, blinded by the fantasy he believed in. And now he lies awake at night, staring at the ceiling, replaying every moment of the last decade. Every smile, every introduction, every coincidence that now feels like choreography. And the truth whispers to him every single night. He wasn't chosen. He was targeted. And the worst part is, Harry can't escape the feeling that the story he lived wasn't actually a love story. It was a plan, a project, a long, quiet operation carried out behind his back while he thought he was making the biggest romantic decision of his life. That thought alone keeps him awake more than anything else, because now, every tiny moment that once felt magical suddenly feels rehearsed. Every coincidence feels engineered. Every chance meeting feels like placement. He remembers Meghan showing up in his world so effortlessly, like she had been meant to be there. But now he knows she didn't fall into his life. She stepped into it, perfectly prepared, perfectly placed, perfectly groomed by people who always knew exactly what they were doing. And Harry, who spent his entire life wanting something real, something honest, something that wasn't tied to his title or his family name, now feels like even that dream was stolen from him. Sometimes, late at night, he wonders what would have happened if he had listened to William, if he had paused for even one moment instead of rushing headfirst with his heart wide open. Would anything be different? Would he have protected himself? Would he have seen the signs? But the truth hits him every time he tries to escape it. He wasn't just loved, he was selected. And that realization, sharp, cold, and impossible to outrun, is the thing haunting him now, long after the fairy tale has fallen apart.